Yo YouTube, what's up? I'm Tim, and this is Jerry's NBA Talk TV. So today we are going to talk the Sixers. I'm going to give you the Sixers season preview, but first, some of you guys might know me from the Cash Killing AC Sports Report. Thanks for watching, and please, if you like this video, let Jerry know so I can become the Sixers correspondent, because I love the Sixers, and I love Philly sports, and I want to cover the whole season for you guys. Alright, so let's start with the top from the men who sit in the front office, and when I say sit, I am not kidding. Ed Snider, who is the owner of the Sixers and the Flyers and the Wells Fargo, otherwise known as Wachovia Center. He does a great job with the Flyers. They were in the Stanley Cup last year. I'm not going to take that away from him. But he does a pretty poor job with the Sixers, who really, since he has been here, have not done much. I mean, he couldn't put a championship team around Allen Iverson. He could never give him a second start. He tried with guys like Chris Webber and Glenn something, I forget his last name, but it doesn't matter. Ed Snider has not gotten the job done here as owner, but that's the problem in sports. You can't fire the owner. That's just how it is. They have a new president in Rod Thorn. Rod Thorn was brought in to replace Ed Stefanski, who was the president and GM. Now just the president. He was also with Stefanski in New Jersey when they were with the Nets, and they were successful. So maybe this will turn some things around in that front office. Ed Stefanski, the general manager, who is in the hot seat this year, and here's why. Not only has the team not been successful, and it appears it's going in the wrong direction since he's gotten here, all his moves have not worked out. He signed Andre Iguodala to an extension. Overpaid him. He paid him like a top 10 player in the NBA. He's maybe a top 20 player in the NBA. Maybe. Elton Brand. I mean, let's think about this here. The man gets injured his whole career. He's coming off an injury, so you're going to pay him an injury, let me say, that he didn't play basically the whole year. So you're going to pay him a 5-year, $82 million deal. That's the type of moves that anger the people around here, and really why the Sixers don't have a ton of fan support. Because it hasn't worked out. I could tell you right from the time that it happened it wasn't going to work out, and Ed Stefanski was too dumb to see that. Now on to the court. Doug Collins, the former analyst, former Sixers star actually, will take over as the coach. He's got a 332 and 287 career record. I think the good thing is that they got Eddie Jordan out of here. Eddie Jordan was not liked by the players, he was not liked by the fans, and everyone had the general impression that Eddie Jordan was a jerk. So, to get him out of here was a good thing. Doug Collins brings a new atmosphere, a new vibe, and a winning vibe, and I think he's going to be good. He coached Michael Jordan at the beginning of his career, and I'm not going to compare Evan Turner to Michael Jordan, but he may know a little bit about coaching up young stars. Last season, this team was 27 and 55, so they have a lot of room for improvement. They finished 12th out of 15 in the East. That is not very good, and something that desperately needs and will be improved this season. So in the off season, they went in and changed a lot of things. They drafted Evan Turner with that number 2 pick. Good, solid move. The best thing they could do. They have a guy really to build around maybe now. I think Evan Turner will be solid. I'm not sure he's going to quite be as good in his rookie season as everyone thinks he is, but he'll be good. I think he'll finish in top 5 Rookie of the Year, and I think he'll have a good season. Some trades they made, really the big one was trading center Samuel Dalembert. He has been not too happy here for a while, and I can't blame him. I mean, if you're not happy and it's a place like Philly, I mean, you like Philly, but when the fans aren't showing up and there's no vibe about the team, which, believe me, there's a good reason why they aren't showing up and there's no vibe about the team, but he just didn't like it here really ever, but I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem was that he supposedly didn't like his new role with the team. He wanted out, he got his wish. He got traded to the Sacramento Kings, a team with, I think, a lot of potential, but I'm giving them the Sixers preview here. So they got Spencer Hawes, 10 points per game, 6 rebounds, good center, not great, but really this was a salary dump. They also got Andres Nocchioni, forward, 8.5 points per game, 3 rebounds. Again, a good player, not a great player. Now, let's look at this team's salary. The Sixers have a $69 million payroll approximate. That's not terribly high, but it's pretty high for a team that's as poor as the Sixers were. And the highest two guys on there really shouldn't be guys that are making anywhere near what they're making. This season, Elton Brand, who's the highest, will make about $16 million. He deserves about $2 million. Andre Iguodala will make $12 million. He deserves about $8 million. So, both of those guys are overpaid, and that's one of the problems. The Sixers are stuck with both of those contracts for 3 or 4 more seasons. So really, there's no reason to think right away that they're just going to turn this franchise around when they're stuck with those guys and can't build around any. And really, this offseason, they weren't able to do much besides getting Tony Batty, who is a good center, but he's there more for the leadership, because they didn't have any cap room. It's not that the Sixers don't have enough payroll to go after a big free agent. They just didn't have the cap room. And that was that. Now, franchise player. That is kind of funny, because Allen Iverson has been the franchise player here for a long time, up to 2006, and they've struggled to find a new one. Elton Brand should be the franchise player based off what he's making. Again, $16 million. He's not, because he's not even on the court enough to be a player. Andre Iguodala is the next guy in line because he has the most talent of anyone else on the team, and he's still not a great franchise player, and someone that will be a franchise player if this team intends to win. So, eventually, yes, Evan Turner is going to be the franchise player here, with good reason, and I like Evan Turner. I think he's going to be a good, solid NBA player. Now, here's the lineup and what it should look like, in my opinion. Drew Holiday is going to be the starting point guard. He showed a lot of late-season potential last year. That maybe they got a steal with the 16th pick after struggling early. He's the second-year guy at UCLA. At the 2 position of shooting guard, Evan Turner, young guy out of Ohio State. He can play guard or forward, but I think he'll play shooting guard with this team. Maybe they'll flip-flop him with the 3-man Andre Iguodala, who's a small forward. Iggy's got a lot of potential still with a good team around him. Not when he's the main guy, though. And he is going to be the main guy, at least for this season and maybe the foreseeable future, if Evan Turner doesn't pan out, which I think he will. Power forward, Elton Brand will go in as a starter, but I've seen nothing to make me believe he will play the full season, so I'm just going to pencil in Thaddeus Young here, because Young has really been the guy that's ended up doing most of this power forwarding for this team over the past few years. He's very talented, but it hasn't quite all come out yet. Center, this is where they're going to have problems. They traded Dallenberg, but they don't have a legitimate starting center, so they are going to rely on guys like Jason Smith and Maurice Spates. You know, they're good, but they on a real team, honestly, are not starters, so that's going to be a problem. Key reserves. This is a big one because I think they finally have some guys they can bring off the bench. Lou Williams, a guy who's been starting for quite a while. He's a good player, but it's nice that he's coming off the bench now because that's where he should be playing, on a good team. He shouldn't be starting like he did last season. So it's good to see that they are able to bring someone like him off the bench. He's a good guard. He can shoot the ball. He can dribble. Good guy. Jason Capona. Now this is someone most of you guys know more because he shoots threes every year in the three-point contest and then doesn't make any in the games. But Jason Capona has the ability to come off the bench and be a sharpshooter, and that's really what the Sixers team needs, a sharpshooter. They've been looking for one since they traded Kyle Korver, yet to find one. Jody Meeks, a second-year guard. He was a second-round pick last year, but I think he has a lot of upside. They acquired him at the deadline last year. We'll see, but I think he should be able to be successful for the Sixers this season in a bench role. If they try and make him a starter, I doubt he will. Now, the rest of the team I really said on because they were all the people that were acquired. Tony Batty, experience. Spencer Hawes, good but not a starter. And the same goes for Andres Nocioni. I mean, they have a good improving bench, but not a great bench. Now, as far as what the team needs are, they have a lot of team needs, but the biggest one has got to be a legitimate center, and maybe the reason why they want to kind of milk this season is so they can get another lottery pick. You throw a legit center in there. I'm talking good center, top 7 or 8 in the NBA, which I don't even know if there is that. There aren't that many legit centers in the NBA, so there's only 3 or 4. But if they got a legit center with that team, they'd be able to ease a lot of pressure off guys like Elton Brand and Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner and all these guys that are extra added pressure because they're down there not only trying to shoot, but they're relying on them to be the main guys rebounding because the center position has not been very good here. Now, my prediction for this team's record, I'm going to say they're going to be 35-47. Now, that doesn't sound great, but considering they won 26 games last year, that's a pretty good improvement. I think the Sixers will improve to a level, but they still got some work. State of the franchise. I would say, by far, the Sixers are the least liked team in this city. The fans don't know the players. With all the other teams, I think they feel like they can relate to the players. And the Sixers are not what the Phillies are. The Phillies have sold out 100 straight games, a few more than that now, but in their stadium has 45,000 people there every night. The Sixers can't sell it at 21,000 seat arena. The Flyers were in the Stanley Cup last year. The fans like it. The Eagles are still the toast of this town, the favorite team, whatever you want to call them. This city loves football. They bleed green. And really, the Sixers just are kind of on the outside looking in right now. It's almost like they're a college team here. They don't have a ton of support. So, last season they had the lowest attendance in the NBA prior to Iverson coming in again. So that's something to look out for. I think because Evan Turner's here and people are excited to see what he can do, they'll come. They'll certainly saw it the first game. They got the Miami Heat in there. Of course, that would happen. But the Sixers are going to be an improved team, but I don't think they're quite going to be ready to take the step to the playoffs. I think they'll finish 10th, 9th, somewhere in that area. They'll, I think, play for the playoffs maybe late in the season, that 8th spot, but they're not going to get it. The East is improved and the Sixers are improved, but they're still not very good. So that is it for the Sixers. I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys tell NBA Jerry, you know what? Cash Kelly should be the man. I'm Tim. This is Jerry's NBA Talk TV. Go Sixers and enjoy the NBA season.